This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe on this date. And on this day, September the 21st in the year 1991, the USA announced their major Olympic roster known as the Dream Team for the Olympics in Barcelona. So it was a humongous effect and all that for the men. This was a massive event. I know I've covered it in years gone past, but in 1992, the Olympics and the IOC decided to allow NBA players to be eligible in the Summer Olympics. So, aided by the International Basketball Association in 1989, the Olympics decided to have basketball like professionals. Now, until 1992, only amateurs and players from professional leagues outside the NBA were allowed to play. So there was a little bit of a disadvantage for the Americans. A lot of people said this was buoyed by the fact that the Americans fell in the 1988 men's basketball tournament and did not win the gold medal for the second time in their history. The first time was controversial enough, 1972, but in 1988 it wasn't bad. Of course, a lot of people said that the men's tournament would be huge and all that. So everything happened. So there would be qualification. Spain qualified for the 92 men's tournament by being a host nation. Angola won on home turf in the FIBA Africa Championship. China won the Asian basketball qualifier. Australia won the Oceania Championship. Like, why wouldn't you? There would be a pre-Olympic basketball tournament held in Spain, where Lithuania, Croatia, the unified team, otherwise known as the Soviet Union, well, it was known as the Soviet Union before they broke up, and Germany all qualified. And then 4 countries from the Tournament of the Americas for North America and South America would qualify too. Held in Portland, the host country, United States, obviously won. Venezuela, Brazil, and Puerto Rico were the other teams. The Americans won Group A quite handily, with Croatia, Brazil, and Germany all qualifying as well to the quarterfinals. Angola and Spain just missed out. In Group B, it was a dogfight as the unified team. Lithuania, Australia, and Puerto Rico all won. Venezuela and China were left in the dust. In the quarterfinals, Croatia beat Australia quite handily. The Russians took care of Germany, even though Devlin Shrek put up 32 points. Lithuania took care of Brazil, and the U.S. crushed Puerto Rico, their American rivals. In the semifinals, Croatia beat the unified team by 1 point, as Razin Drazen Petrovic put up 28 points. U.S. crushed Lithuania by 51 points. In the bronze medal game, Lithuania shocked everyone by beating the unified team, as Lithuania was a former Russian republic, but now they had bronze all to themselves. The United States crushed Croatia for gold. But that's not the point. The point is the 12 men who were picked for the Americans. The Croatians had Petrovic coach future Raptor Sean Tabak and Dino Raja, who was a good Boston player, on it. Lithuania, their key two in the NBA were Arvydas Sabonis and Sarunas Marciulionis. Those were the medalists. Regardless of that, it was pretty impressive. But the United States won the gold, and the roster was a who's who. Magic Johnson was picked to be part of the Dream Team. Great guard for the Lakers in the Showtime era. Now, mind you, this was a couple months before he had to go tell the world he was HIV positive And shockingly, Magic was still in enough shape to play for the U.S. at the Olympics, and that he wasn't being singled out because he was HIV positive and all that. So at least the Olympics didn't have that much problems, even though the AIDS epidemic kind of hit. Charles Barkley was also picked, the round amount of rebound. He was a great rebounder for the Philadelphia 76ers at the time, of course, this is 1991. And he was at 6'6", the shortest player to win a rebounding title, really. Regardless of that, Barkley would be a little controversial. And during the 92 offseason, during that Olympic run, he was actually traded from Philadelphia to Phoenix. But it worked out because he helped the Phoenix Suns get to the NBA Finals, losing to MJ. Chris Mullin was picked too, the flat top star from St. John's University for the Golden State Warriors. He was a pretty decent player and all that. He did go to Indiana later in his career and was decent. John Stockton, the man with the passing power, the assist power, if you will, from the Utah Jazz from Gonzaga, well, Magic from MSU, and Barkley from Auburn. But anyway, Stockton could dish the ball with the best of them, the assist leader, and he was a proud part of the Utah Jazz. He never played for another team other than the Jazz. His Utah teammate, Karl Malone, also was made to be on the U.S. roster. Malone was a power forward from Louisiana Tech, also played for the Utah Jazz at the time of Stockton, so it was great to see two Utah Jazz players play on the same team and all that. Malone would trophy chase going with the Lakers for one season and failed. Clyde the Glide Drexler was this man from the University of Houston who was drafted by Portland, and it was kind of because Drexler was the shooting guard for the Trailblazers why the Blazers didn't really want to pick Michael Jordan. They took Sam Bowie. But yeah, Drexler was a great guard. He was good with the ball. He could shoot well. And he went to Houston in that famous 95 trade deadline deal that saw the Rockets win their back-to-back titles. MJ, Michael Jordan from UNC, great player for the Bulls and the Wizards for a few years, was just basketball epitomized. Of course, the 91 offseason was after MJ finally won an NBA title with the Chicago Bulls, and it was huge, beating the Lakers in the final, beating Magic in the final. So MJ proved himself worthy in the 92 playoffs, and then, of course, in Barcelona. His Bulls teammate, Scottie Pippen, was also picked. The man from Central Arkansas, not from University of Arkansas, but Central Arkansas. The Bulls coveted him so much, they actually made a trade with the Sonics to get the rights to Pippen for Olden Polynice. It worked out quite well for the Bulls, mind you. And Pippen was just the Bulls' leader when MJ went to play baseball. He would trophy chase with Houston and Portland to no success. Larry Bird from Boston, Larry Legend from Indiana State University. He was the Celtics personified in the 1980s. He was winding down his career. He had a massive injury in the 91 playoffs, and people thought he couldn't play through it. Bird did play the 92 season, but that was it. Patrick Ewing from the New York Knicks from Georgetown University was born in Jamaica, but went to the United States at age 12, so he was an American citizen. And Patrick Ewing was a great center, flashing brilliance, helping the Knicks become respectable again. So, yeah, he was good. He went to Seattle and Orlando later on. David Robinson, the Admiral from University of Navy, who was the first pick in 1987 by the Spurs. And, of course, they asked the Spurs once they won the draft lottery about David Robinson being the big boy, but having the 2-year Navy commitment. What are you going to do? And the San Antonio GM says, we've waited 14 years for someone like him. What's 2 more? So they were willing to take David Robinson and knew about the 2-year commitment. It worked out, and Robinson helped the Spurs become very prominent in basketball in the 90s, picking up where he left off and never playing for another team. That's all fine and good, but the Americans promised the NCAA that they would bring one guy from the NCAA to play on the Dream Team, and that guy was Christian Laettner. So it was humongous what they could do and all that. So it was just humongous what they would do and all that. So yeah, the U.S. basketball decided to allow one collegiate team, and that was Christian Laettner from Duke. Like, why wouldn't you have Laettner on the team? I mean, Christian Laettner was just that damn good, and Duke were back-to-back champions of the NCAA. But when they chose Laettner, that was when Duke won the 91 title. Soon Laettner would win a second title in 1992 for the Blue Devils. And when he got picked in 91, this was before he had the famous shot against Kentucky that helped Duke get to the Final Four. So Laettner did his job and all that. And so Laettner was picked. Shaq was a finalist to be picked for the U.S. basketball team in the Olympics, but he didn't do it and all that. So anyway, there were a lot of problems. There was a controversy about Laettner being picked over Shaq. But fortunately, though, Shaq would play for the 96 U.S. Olympic team. And also, Isaiah Thomas was somehow left off the team. And a lot of people said that Isaiah would have been on the team, but MJ intervened and all of that. A lot of people said all that. So anyway, it was just shocking what happened. But yeah, they went with Leitner over Shaq. Oh well, it didn't matter. Yeah, and Isaiah Thomas was off the team. But a lot of people said Isaiah was so bad that a lot of people didn't want to play with him. I would have taken Chris Mullin out for Isaiah Thomas, to be honest with you. But anyway, the Americans didn't really need that problem. I think whoever they picked would have probably won the gold medal. I mean, the team they dominated the teams in the Olympics, and they didn't even use a timeout allegedly. So yeah, so the team was the dream team, and it was worth it. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.